So, next we'll be talking about basic Forex terminologies, right? Basic Forex terminologies and concepts. Now, these concepts are very key to your Forex trading career. You need to understand all these things to successfully trade Forex, right? So, let's break them down one after the other, right? Now, order book, not necessarily a literal book, right? But a book like a record held by the broker that contains all the buy and sell orders that have been placed by traders. So in Forex, you are buying and selling, right? So you are buying, I'm selling. Someone is buying, someone is selling, someone is selling, someone is buying. So the broker compiles all those orders and puts it in one place. You understand? That's what an order book is. Now, spot price. What is spot price? Spot price is the current price of a currency pair, right? What is the price of a currency pair at the moment? That is what spot price is, right? Now, bid. All these things I'm talking about, I will explain them in details now. Just give me a minute. Now, bid. What is bid? Bid is the price at which a currency pair can be sold, right? Bid is the price at which a currency pair can be sold. Ask is the price at which a currency pair can be bought. Spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. I'll explain everything in detail now. So now, let's say that, right, the current price of Euro USD is 1.2512, right? 1.2512. 1.2512. Now, let's say that, right? Let's say that the broker has orders, buy and sell orders, right? Let's say the broker has the following sell orders, right? Let's say the broker has the following sell orders, right? The broker has sell orders. Somebody wants to sell at 1.2509. Somebody wants to sell at 1.2510. Another person wants to sell at 1.2508. Yeah. Now, let's say the broker also has buy orders, right? Buy orders. Somebody wants to buy at 1 point. Let's say somebody wants to buy at. No, let's make this 2513, 2514, and 2515, right? Now let's say buy orders. Someone wants to buy at 2509. Someone wants to buy at 1.2508. Someone wants to buy at 1.2511. Okay, so you have some sell orders, you have some buy orders, right? Now you will notice how the sell orders, right? The sell orders are slightly higher than the spot price. The spot price is 1.2512. The sell orders are slightly higher than the spot price, right? 1.2513, 2514, 2515. Why is that? I mean, we all want to make profit, right? So we in everyday in basically everyday commerce, normally everyday commerce, right? You want to sell like you want to buy something at a low price, then sell it at a high price. That is how you can make profit, right? That is how you can make profit. So you will notice that all these sellers now, all these people that want to sell, they want to sell at a price higher than the spot price. So let's just say they bought at the spot price of 1.2512. So that means they want to sell at a price that is higher than the spot price. That is how they can make profit, right? So they are trying to maximize profit. That's why they are selling high. So the mantra is basically you sell high, you buy low. You get. If you look at the buyers, their orders are lower than the spot price. Basically, that's how it works, right? You want to buy low, you want to sell high. That's mostly how it works. But now the thing is, let's say you now want to buy Euro USD, right? Let's say you want to buy Euro USD right now. Instant execution, right? Instant execution. Let's say you want to buy Euro USD. Now, you want to buy Euro USD right now. What is going to happen is when you want to buy, when you want to buy, you need somebody that wants to sell. And when you want to sell, you need somebody that wants to buy. That's basically how it works. I mean, it's you give, you take, you take, you give. That's basically how it works. So when you want to buy, you need somebody that wants to sell. So now the broker will now take your order like, okay, 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 you want to buy Euro USD. Now, who are those available to sell Euro USD? Who are those available to sell Euro USD? Now, among those available to sell Euro USD, right? Among those available to sell Euro USD, the broker will try to give you the lowest, like the lowest possible price, like the lowest possible seller of all the people available to sell Euro USD. Who wants to sell for the least price? So among all these sellers here, who is selling for the least price? Who do you think is selling for the least price? You are right. If you guess correctly, that is 1.2513. Yes, that's correct. So 1.2513 is the least price of amongst the sellers, right? So you want to buy. So the broker will help you get the seller that wants to sell for the least price, which is 1.2513, right? So that means that if you choose to buy Euro USD now, you are going to buy Euro USD at you are going to buy Euro USD at 1.2513, right? So you buy Euro USD, you buy Euro USD at 1.2513. Now, if you look at it, 1.2513, it is still higher than the spot price, which is 1.2512, right? So you want to buy Euro USD, but you are not getting it at the spot price. You are getting it at another price. You are getting it at the price of the lowest seller. You understand? You are getting it at the which of the sellers is selling for the least price, for the lowest price. That's what you are getting it for. And this is called the ask. The ask. It's called the ask, right? So ask is the price at which you can buy a currency pair, right? So you have spot price, then you now have ask. Ask is the price at which you can buy a currency pair. And you usually get to buy a currency pair at the price of the lowest seller. You understand? So this is what ask is. So you are not getting it at the spot price, but who wants to sell for the least? I mean, you want to buy something, you need someone that can sell to you. So you want to buy, who wants to sell for the least? So that is your ask, right? So you buy at the ask, right? Now let's say you want to sell, right? You want to sell. That means you need somebody that wants to buy, right? That means you need somebody that wants to buy. Now, because you need somebody that wants to buy, you look at all the buy orders, look at all the buyers there, right? Now, you want to sell. That means you are looking for who is going to offer you the highest price. Like if I want to sell something, if I have something for sale, I mean I'll be looking for who can pay the highest. It just makes sense, right? So I can make money. I'll be looking for who can pay the highest. So now I want to sell. That means that amongst all these people willing to buy, who is offering the best price? Who do you think is offering the best price? Well, you are right if you say it is 1.2511. 1.2511 is offering the best price. So I want to sell. Who wants to buy for the best price? It is 1.2511. So I will sell at 1.2511, right? So you will notice that this price, it is still lower than the spot price, right? So it is still slightly lower than the spot price. So it is lower than the spot price, and it is called bid, right? It is called bid, the bid, right? It is called the bid. Now, the bid is the price at which you can sell a currency pair, right? And you want to sell, like, you can only sell at the price at who is you can only sell based on who is offering the best price to buy, right? So the sell, the bid, the price at which you can sell, the ask, the price at which you can buy. Now, the difference when you subtract the ask and the bid, right? When you do a subtraction, right? When you do a subtraction of the ask and the bid, right? That's ask minus bid, right? Ask minus bid, right? That is 1.2513 minus 1.2511. What do you get? You get 0.0002. Yeah. So this is 0.0002, right? This is 0.0002, right? That is it is called your spread. It is called the spread. The spread. So the spread is basically the difference between the bid and the ask, right? The spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. It is that straightforward, right? So let's go to the other terminologies, like the other concepts that we have to understand. Now, pips, right? Pips. Pips. Pips is also called is short for PIP is short for percentage in point or price interest point, right? It is a unit of change in an exchange rate of a currency pair. Now, pip is like the way you have meter being the unit for distance, the way you have gram being the small, kilogram being the unit for weight and all that. You get pip is the unit for price in forex, like it's a standard unit for price in forex, right? Now, yeah, I said that value of a pip is 0.0001 for most pairs except JPY, except yen pairs. Yen pairs, it is 0.01. All this I'm saying, like, I'm going to explain everything. Just come with me. So now, um, now I need to mention here. Like, you will notice that when I started explaining the bid and the ask and spot price, you will notice how we are writing this the format of this price, right? The format of this price. Now, what you need to know is that when we talk about currency exchange normally, okay, let's say we are talking about the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar, right? We usually talk about, okay, um um $1 is 500 naira, you get. But what we don't realize, or what we don't really pay attention to, right, is the decimals. And in forex, like, the decimal is the meat of forex. Those decimals that we ignore in everyday exchange, like we just talk about how much is dollar today, how much is dollar today, 500 naira, that decimal that we don't mention, That is the meat of forex. You understand? That is the meat of forex. So you talk in decimals to the very last decimals. So in forex, the currency pairs, the prices are written in four decimal places. So you will notice all these prices I was explaining during the bid and the ask and everything. You will see that they are four decimal places, right? The only time you don't have four decimal places is when you're talking about yen pairs. Yen pairs are, you have just two decimal places, right? You have just two decimal places. Now, talking about pip, what is a pip? A pip is the smallest unit of price movement, right? Is the smallest unit of price movement. Well, technically, there is a smaller unit, but it is not something you should concern yourself about now, right? But you just need to understand for now that a pip is the smallest unit of price movement. Now, what do we mean by this, right? Now, when we check this, okay, let's still use this Euro USD example, Euro dollar example, right? Price of Euro dollar is 1.2512. Price of Euro dollar is 1. Euro dollar is 1.2512, right? Now, simple explanation is that when the price of euro dollar now moves from 1.2512, right, and it becomes 1.2513, right, what has happened? I mean, in general mathematics, right, we will say that the price uh, we will say that the price has increased by what? We'll say that the price has increased by what? Let's see. We'll say that the price has increased by 0.0001, right? Now that 0.0001, that is called 1 pip, right? That is called 1 pip, right? That is what a pip is. That movement of that last decimal place by 1 is 1 pip, right? So that means that if this had been 1.2512, right, and it now changes to 1.2515, right, you would agree with me that this will change to 3. This will change to 3, and this will be what? This will be 3 pips, right? This will be 3 pips. Yeah. If it is the other way around and this changes to 0, right, so that means that you have 2, right? So the price moves from 1.2512 to 1.2510. So there's a change by 2, like 2, this will change to 2. So that is 2 pips. But it is 2 pips in the other direction. So it has dropped by 2 pips. The one we were saying before was increasing by 1 pip, 3 pips. But this one has dropped by 2 pips. So the price changed from 1.2512 to 1.2510, right? So the price has dropped by 2 pips. Now, one thing we need to understand is this. Now, if I write 1.2512, right? Remember how in mathematics we were taught on units, tens, hundreds, and thousands, right? Now, we have already explained what a pip is, right? A pip is a change in that last decimal place, that fourth decimal place, right? That is what a pip is. That change in that fourth decimal place, right? Now, how about the change happens here? right? Let's say it doesn't change from 1.2512 to 1.2513. Let's say it doesn't change from 1.2512 to 1.2513. What if it changes from 1.2512 to 1.2522? Now, how many pips increase do you think that will be, right? The simple answer is you can just go ahead and just do your subtraction, right? Just do your subtraction. So you have 0.00, I mean 10, right? If you look at this now, right? If you look at this 0.0010, if we when we said 0.0001 is equal to a pip, is equal to 1 pip, right? So looking at this 0.0010, how many pips do you think it will be equal to? How many pips do you think it will be equal to? You are right if you said it will be 10 pips, right? 10 pips, right? Because if you look at 0.0001 and 0.0010, I mean, it is a movement of one decimal place forward, like one decimal place up, right? So the decimal place has moved from here to here, right? So it has moved one decimal place. So you have to multiply by 10, basically. You get. So it has moved from the fourth decimal place to the third decimal place. So the multiplication has to be by 10. So this 0.0001 is 1 pip. 0.0010 is going to be 10 pips. Likewise, 0.0100 is going to be, what do you think? It's going to be what? You are right if you guess it's going to be 100 pips, right? 100 pips, right? Exactly. So the movement here has occurred in the second decimal place, not the fourth, not the third, the second decimal place. So in the second decimal place, you are talking of 100, right? Likewise, if you have 0.1000, how many pips do you think that will be? How many pips do you think that will be? Well, you are right if you guessed 1000 pips. 1000 pips. So the movement has occurred, the change has occurred in the first decimal place, right? So get it, right? In the fourth decimal place is where you have your 1 pip. 1 pip, fourth decimal place, right? So this position, fourth decimal place, you can consider it as unit 1, right? The third decimal place, you can consider it as your tens. So when the 1 is here, you have 10 pips, right? The second decimal place, you can consider it as your hundreds. So when the change occurs here, when you have your 1 here, it is 100 pips, right? So the the next one, the change occurring in the first decimal place, you can consider it as your thousands, right? So when you have that, you have 1000 pips, right? So let me just give this following exercise to just practice, right? So let's say you have a change from the price of euro USD move from 1.2512 to 1.3512, right? How many pips do you think that will be, right? How many pips movement do you think that will be? The price of kiwi kiwi dollar, right, move from 0.7506 to 0.7516. How many pips movement do you think that would be, right? The price of Aussie yen, right? Okay, no, let's not do yen now. The price of Aussie kiwi moved from, let's just find an arbitrary number, moved from 1.4510, 1.4510 to 1.4511. How many pips movement is that, right? So just a few seconds to process all of that, about 30 seconds to do that, right? So I'll wait for a few seconds, counting down, counting down, counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, of course. I mean, you could have paused the video and gone ahead to do what you wanted to do. But anyway, so euro dollar, right? Price moved from 1.2512 to 1.3512. If you try to subtract, you are going to get what? You are going to get 0.1000. And how many pips would you say this is? Of course, you're right. If you say that it is 1,000 pips, yeah. Now, price of Kiwi dollar moved from 0.7506 to 0.7516, right? So if you subtract that, what you are going to get is 0.0010. So that's a change by, you are right, if you guessed it is 10 pips, right? Now Aussie Kiwi, the price moved from 1.4510 to 1.4511. If you do your subtraction, you are going to have 0.0001, which is going to give you 1 pip, right? So that is basically it. Now, the only difference with yen pairs is that with yen pairs, right, Japanese yen pairs, you have 2 decimal places, right? You don't have 4 decimal places. That's the only difference. The same concept still applies. The same concept still applies. So let's say um, 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 the price of Aussie yen right now, right, is 75.32. This is how you usually see yen pairs. This is how you usually see the price of yen pairs. It will have just 2 decimal places, right? Now let's say it's 75.32 at the moment, right? Let's say the price now goes up to um, say 75.33, right? It is still the same concept. It is still the same concept, but the only difference is that with this one now, what you're having is you can say 75 minus 0, you can say 0.01, which is the same thing as saying 0.01, right? So this is 1 pip for a yen pair. So for a yen pair, this is 1 pip. 1 pip is 0.01 for a yen pair, right? So the same concept still applies. If it now moves from 75.32 and becomes 75.42, the same concept still applies, right? So 75.42, that means that it will now be 0.10, that is 10 pips, right? 10 pips. The same concept still applies. If it moves from 75.32 and becomes 76.32, that means the change has occurred in this at this point here, right? So 76.32, if you subtract 76.32 minus 76.32 minus 75.32, what you are going to get, right, is 1.00, that is 100 pips, right? So that's with yen pairs, right? It's just basically you start from this second decimal place as opposed to your fourth decimal place for other pairs, right? So that's just basically that, right? So for the other concept, let's talk about it in the next video. Let's break it into parts. In this next video, we'll talk about the other part. So let's break this first. We're gonna keep it low key, keep it softly.